Hello, Darshan Maharaja here. I'm sure you have heard about the case of Liberal MP and current candidate for re-election, Paul Chiang, who made a very objectionable remark on a Chinese language media, saying that his conservative opponent John Tay should be kidnapped, basically, and taken over to the Chinese consulate so he could be taken back to China because there is a reward of 1 million Hong Kong dollars from the Chinese government. Uh, so this is basically extraordinary rendition. Those who are familiar with the history of the global war on terror that President Bush II unleashed on the world. A lot of people were extraordinarily renditioned. So, for a sitting Liberal MP or any MP for that matter, or for anyone in Canada, actually, to suggest such a thing is highly inappropriate and objectionable. It's worth bearing in mind that Mr. Chang is a former police officer from York Regional Police. More on that in a minute. Seems to have worked there for about 28 years. So, for a person with this kind of a background, to say something like this is it causes a lot of consternation in most Canadians. What you may not know, and even I did not know until this afternoon, was that Mr. Chang was born in Pakistan, in the port city of Karachi. In fact, his parents were born there because his grandparents had migrated from China to the British India of the time. Uh, India had not been divided into India and Pakistan at that point. So in 1927, he migrated, this according to his own words. This person on Twitter shared it with me this afternoon, and I'll post a link to that Twitter post in the description below, where it seems to be from the year 2021. Mr. Chang was a candidate for the Liberal Party in the election, and he speaks in fluent Urdu, as good as a native. And he explains all this that he was born in Karachi, his parents were born in Karachi, his grandparents had migrated from China to Karachi. Uh, so now there is additional cause for concern from my point of view because now there are two authoritative governments in the picture or potentially in the picture. We know that currently Pakistan is basically sitting in the lap of China because Pakistan is bankrupt and needs someone to keep bailing them out. They keep doing rounds of IMF and all, but basically their current benefactor is China. And this goes all the way back before Pakistan became an independent country or a country. Uh, uh, I'm reminded of a book called Odyssey, Pakistan's Pakistan in the flight path of in the trajectory of American power. So this is by a Pakistani journalist called Tariq Ali, who later on settled in the UK, has been living there for many, many decades. He's an old person now. And in that, he has quoted uh, an incident from 1943, that is before, 4 years before Pakistan was formed. And an American journalist had come to India at the time. And I think he was given this question by the American government to find out. But in any event, his question to Mr. Jinnah, who was leading the movement for creation of Pakistan, the question was, what would that country's, Pakistan's foreign policy be? And Mr. Jinnah said that as an Islamic country, we will be very close to the Muslim countries of the Middle East, but these countries are militarily weak, and there is a danger of aggression from Soviet Russia. So they will look to the United States for protection. So indirectly, Mr. Jinnah was saying that we are going to be in America's lap, basically. And that is what happened after independence also. They sat in America's lap for a few decades. Then, when the anti-Soviet jihad in Afghanistan picked up steam, they teamed up with Saudi Arabia. And then over the couple of decades, or maybe 3 decades, they basically survived on money coming from the Gulf sheikdoms, including Saudi Arabia. And now, last several years, probably a decade or so, they have this Canada, Pakistan, China, Pakistan economic corridor, CPEC. And China is investing tens of billions of dollars there. So, again, looping back to Mr. Chiang, it looks like there could potentially be two authoritarian regimes with whom he is connected. Now, um, he has issued an apology, a written apology, uh, that it was a lapse in his judgment and he apologizes. But I don't think that apology suffices. And I must point out here that our mainstream media is treating him with kid gloves or velvet gloves, whichever you want to put, whichever way you want to put it. Uh, in my view, this is a chargeable criminal offense. Inciting uh, anyone to commit a crime, even if that crime is not committed, is a criminal offense. So I don't know why he has not yet been charged. First of all, the Liberal Party has not dropped him as yet as a candidate for the election. So that is problem number one. It is big enough a problem because you have someone who said something so incendiary and the party has not reacted for more than 48 hours now. And the police have not charged him, whereas he is on record as apologizing for what he said, which means there is no ifs and buts about what he said. So I don't know. He was with the York Regional Police for, according to his own words, 28 years. So is this a case of the police protecting their own? I don't know. I hope it's not that. Maybe they are working on it and it takes some bit of time to get around to laying those charges. I don't know. But I hope that these charges will be forthcoming. Now, this is something like we keep hearing about the blue line sometimes, and I don't like that expression because I want police to be completely impartial. I know that is a little bit idealistic, but we are in a first world country, or at least we claim to be a first world country. So the rule of law should prevail. Now, that brings me to that rule of law brings me to uh, Mr. Carney's op-ed that he had written way back in February 2022, on 7th of February 2022 to be precise. This was just 1 week before the invocation of the Emergencies Act in reaction to the truckers' convoy in Ottawa. And in that op-ed, he was basically against the truckers' convoy, and he had said that full force of the law should be applied, not just on the protesters, but also on the people who had contributed financially to the convoy. And in his words, so that they don't do this kind of a thing again. So, and then 1 week later, the Emergencies Act was invoked. Uh, and in November of 2024, a federal court had ruled that the invocation was illegal. Sadly, but expectedly, there hasn't been any commentary on this in our media. I mean, I tried looking for that and I'm not finding anyone. All the pundits and commentators who are generally quick to jump on issues, none of them have written anything. But this, brings things in sharp focus because early on in his campaign to become the leader of Liberal Party, Mr. Carney had said that he is not averse to using emergency powers of the government to get oil and gas pipeline projects going. That means disregarding whatever local opposition may be there for these projects. But then, if he is willing to use emergency powers of the government, is it only in relation to pipelines or on other issues also? Because he, 1 week before the invocation of the Emergencies Act in February 2022, he advocated, not in clear words, but if you read that op-ed, the meaning is clear. And a lot of people are outright saying that he must have been the one who advised the government to do that. We don't have evidence of that, but we can definitely say that in an indirect manner, he was in favor of invocation of the Emergencies Act. And then during his leadership campaign, he has stated clearly that he would use uh, emergency powers of the government in certain situations. So, would he uh, be willing to use emergency powers in other situations also? Because we are talking about foreign interference in Canadian elections for a very, very long time, years, in fact. And the names of the 11 MPs who were allegedly named in the NC Corp report have never been released. Indirectly, we know about one or two names, but we haven't actually got an official confirmation that these are the 11 people who were named and the reason why they were named. They may not have been aware that there was foreign interference or that the interference may have been against them. We don't know, but this lack of information casts a doubt on all 338 of them. But since Mr. Carney claims that he has the security clearance required, I mean, it sounds a little bit surprising how all the background checks could have been completed in such a short time, but maybe they were, since he has uh, security clearance according to himself. So why doesn't he clarify to the people as to whether anyone of those 11 MPs is running for re-election in this election, and whether Mr. Chiang is one of them? And even if he isn't, from the way he issued that threat, it was basically taking the side of the Chinese government, the CCP, and therefore we can confidently say that he is working to the benefit of the Chinese government, which in many respects is a hostile foreign power when Canadian politics and society are concerned. So I think the Liberal Party not only should drop Mr. Chiang uh, as a candidate in this election, but also that the police should file charges against him for inciting the commitment of a crime. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'll see you again in the next video. Until then, goodbye and be well.